going on, guys? Satsuki the Savage here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Hunter x Hunter chapter 382. Now, I want to apologize if I sound weird throughout this video because I'm a little sick, but I would like to start off this video by saying, I told you, bitch! And if you guys don't know what I'm referring to, back in April, I made a discussion video where the topic was, which prince do you think will die? In that video, I said that Salé-Salé was going to be the next prince to die. Don't believe me? Roll the clip. Now, these are the people who I believe have a high chance of dying next. First is Salé-Salé, and it all comes from the fact that he does not take this succession war seriously. I think Salé-Salé is going to be the next person to die. He seems way in over his head. I just don't see what he's seeing. Like I said before, I made this video in April, so this isn't 2020 hindsight because I made this video before chapter 381. And what's ironic about Salé-Salé's death is he said, and I quote, "That succession war can choke on my dick. Fuck that shit." And then he gets choked to death. And it's a shame for two reasons. One, we didn't get to see how Yushohi's ability works. And two, we didn't get to see what Salé-Salé's stupid ass plan was. And it was funny because a lot of people thought that Salé-Salé was safe, at least until we got to see this plan. But Togashi said, nah, fuck that shit. The dumbasses don't get to stay too long in my series. But I gotta salute Salé-Salé because he lived his life exactly how he wanted. Partying and surrounded by bitches.
I fucked 1,000 bitches, I fucked 1,000 bitches.
Now, the other two characters I want to talk about in this review are Kinatsubi and Halkenberg. Now, Kinatsubi kind of surprised me in this chapter because we got to see some insight from him. Initially, I got this weird vibe from Kinatsubi, and I still do because he seems like he knows more than he lets on. But in this chapter, he kind of tells Halkenberg what a king should be. Kinatsubi is actually the one who's pushing Halkenberg into taking action. And he believes a king is someone who takes responsibility and owns up to their actions, whether good or bad. And Kinatsubi is a lot smarter than I first thought because he already planned that Halkenberg was going to try this. Not only that, but he wasn't even the least bit shook when Halkenberg came in there with the gat. I mean, even with Natsubi having a Nimbeast, it's still kind of cool how he stayed calm while Halkenberg went on a rampage. The Nimbeasts are like extensions of their owners' personalities. So when I first seen Kinatsubi's Nimbeast, I didn't think much of him. Now talking about Halkenberg, because he went through a swing of emotions. At first he started the chapter like this. "Hello there, guys. I would like to send this letter to my father. Could you please give it to him?" This motherfucker again with another fucking letter? What the fuck is the letter gonna do? This nigga. Alright, Prince. Let's see the letter. Thank you, I appreciate that. I would also like to send my condolences, motherfucker. There, where's the king? Like, for real, shit went from 0 to 100 with Halkenberg, and he just went hostile takeover mode. But things got crazier, because he not only threatened the bodyguards, he tried to kill King Natsubi. And then after that failed, he tried to kill himself. But Halkenberg's Nimbeast said, nah, boy. He said, nah, boy, we ain't doing that today, boy. You living through this shit. And like I said before, the Nimbeasts are extensions of their owners' personalities. And Halkenberg's Nimbeast, out of all the Nimbeasts, looks the most fierce. So while on the surface it seems that Halkenberg is a pacifist, I guess on the inside, in his heart of hearts, he really is about that action. You have Prince Benjamin, who already thought that Halkenberg was a threat before, order one of his bodyguards, Shikaku, to take him out. And I'm not entirely sure how Benjamin knew what Halkenberg was up to. It was either due to Muse's ability or just because he heard from the military guys, because he is in charge of the military. But Benjamin's order proves to be fatal to Shikaku because after he tries to step up to Halkenberg, he essentially becomes a slave, or at least his body does. So we already know about Halkenberg's Nimbeast ability to basically pull the aura of all of his subordinates. But in this chapter we see something new, because Halkenberg has his Nin aura, which both protects him from attacks and it shoots this arrow that cannot be intercepted or blocked. Poor Shikaku tried to block it with this weird Nin rectangle, and actually Benjamin told Shikaku to take his ability, alright? So I'm assuming that whatever Shikaku had was this ability to take whatever was hit by it, if he, of course, withstood it, and basically turn it into a Yu-Gi-Oh card, because that's what the translation said. I mean, turning Nin abilities into Yu-Gi-Oh cards, that would have been interesting to see. But anyways, Halkenberg's arrow pierces right through that rectangle and hits Shukaku. Now this ability is strange, alright? Because we see Halkenberg, after he uses this ability and hits Shukaku, one of his bodyguards drops to the floor, dead I'm assuming. And then you see Shukaku, he's now one of Halkenberg's subordinates. It's either Halkenberg loses one of his loyal subordinates, and in return, he can turn anybody he wants into his subordinate. Or his power is more like this. The soul of the person that dies is now inside of the person that he targeted with the arrow. And I'm going more with the second option because you can see in the panel with Shukaku and the bodyguard that dropped to the floor, you can see their panels side to side. Like, it seemed like the bodyguard that just died, his like soul was right next to Shukaku. And they said the cost of using this ability was not the life of the bodyguard, but the body of the bodyguard. So again, I think it's more of the bodyguard's soul being transferred into Shukaku. Either way with that, Shukaku's technically not dead since his body is still there, so Benjamin can't inherit his ability. And if Benjamin doesn't know what happened to Shukaku, now Halkenberg has a bodyguard that can freely move within Benjamin's ranks. But again, that's assuming that Benjamin doesn't know what happened. And the banquet finally started. So now we're down to 12 princes, alright? We have Prince Wobble, whose mother wants to get her out of the Secession War entirely. We have Miriam, who's protected by Biscuit and Hanzo, and they're like in some completely different dimension. You have Kacho and Fugetsu, and it seems that Kacho at least has a plan to try to get them out of the Secession War with Melody's help. You have Halkenberg, who has this newfound resolve to win the Secession War. You have Lazarus, who's probably just chilling in a cut, still smoking. You have Tyson, who's still probably in her own little world, probably. You have Tubeppa, who has that alliance with Kurapika. You have the fourth prince, who's learning Nin like he's seen it on a YouTube tutorial. You have the third prince, Zane Lee, who also has an alliance with Kurapika. You have Camilla, who's still under surveillance after trying to catch Benjamin lacking. And then you have Benjamin, who's now after Halkenberg's head. So I gotta say, I like the direction that we're going. It seems that we're kind of speeding things up a little bit. The first chapter after the hiatus was okay progression, but this chapter was really great progression. At this point in the manga, we kind of got an overview of the prince's personality, who they want to go after, and what they want to do in a Secession War. Except maybe Miriam and Prince Wobble, but one's a kid and one's a baby. Also guys, let me know if you would be interested in me speculating again which will be the next prince to die. And we can even do another video where we speculate which Spider Troop member is going to be the next to die, because I do think some of them will die in this arc. But guys, that is it for this review. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe. Satsuki the Savage.